Hi class, in this video we'll be doing the example titled Chickenpox Sample Size. So you plan to conduct a survey to estimate the percentage of adults who have had chickenpox. Find the number of people who must be surveyed if you want to be 98% confident that the sample percentage is within 2 percentage points of the true percent for the population of all adults. Assume that nothing is known about the prevalence of chickenpox. Okay, so in the previous video we saw something similar to this, where we were asked to find the sample size. And I know that because it says find the number of people who must be surveyed. So I need to find N, or my sample size. And my problem then tells me I have a 98% confident, I'm going to be 98% confident rather, so my confidence level, I'm going to convert that 98% into a decimal to be 0.98. And I'm also told that I want the percentage is to be within 2 percentage points of the true percent. And we talked in the last video how that wording within a certain percentage point indicates that that is going to be my E. So since it wants 2 percentage points, my E is going to be 0.02. And then it says, assume that nothing is known about the prevalence of chickenpox. So what this tells me is that P hat is unknown. I'm going to write that here. P hat is unknown. All right, so from that last video, we looked at our formula chart and we found that when P hat is unknown, N is going to be Z alpha over 2 squared times 0.25 divided by E squared. Now, I'm given a 98% confidence level. In the last example, we had a 90% confidence level, and we were able to find that Z alpha over 2 already given to us on that chart. Well, on that chart, you only have 90, 95, and 99%. We don't have 98%. So I need to go ahead and find that critical value, Z alpha over 2, for a 98% confidence level. So I'm going to bring up my formula chart again. All right, and I'm going to look at that rightmost column that's off to itself, titled Critical Value Z-Score. And now that I don't have 90, 95, or 99%, I'm going to have to use the calculator in order to find my Z-score. And it tells me here that I'm going to use the inverse norm function, and my area is going to be 1 minus the confidence level divided by 2. My mean is going to be 0, and my standard deviation is going to be 1. Remember, we've talked before how your calculator is going to give you a negative number, and our critical value, we're just going to change that negative to a positive. So let's go ahead and find that Z alpha over 2. So I'm going to use inverse norm, and then 1 minus my confidence level, which my confidence level is 0.98, so that's going to be 1 minus 0.98, and remember I put parentheses around the 1 minus 0.98, and then divided by 2, and then my mean is 0, and my standard deviation is 1. All right, so now I need to put this into my calculator. Since it may have been a while since you have used that inverse norm function all the way back in chapter 6, let's go ahead and review where to find it. So I'm going to hit second vars, and then inverse norm is the third option in that list under the distribution menu. So I tab down 3 times or hit the number 3 on my calculator to get to the inverse norm function. Remember, if you're on the old OS, it'll take you to the home screen where you will fill in the area, comma, mean, comma, standard deviation, and then hit enter. The new OS, you'll see what I have here, which is we'll have a list, and we'll just fill out the list. All right, so my area is 1 minus, which I already have there, my confidence level, which is 0.98, and then close my parentheses and divide by 2. My mean is already filled out as 0. My standard deviation is already 1. We've talked before how I'm going to leave my tail as the left tail, since some of your calculators may not have where you can change the tail, and in that case your calculator is going to default to the left tail. All right, I hit enter, and I hit enter again to get my answer. Once again, I am going to take the negative answer the calculator gives me, round it to 2 decimal places, and change that negative to a positive. Okay? So my answer is negative 2.326. So my z-score is going to be positive 2.33. So my z alpha over 2 is 2.33. So now I have everything I need to fill in for my equation for my sample size. All right, so n equals z alpha over 2 squared, so that becomes 2.33 squared. All right, since sigma is, or p hat rather, is unknown, I'm going to multiply that by 0.25. And then I divide by e squared, which is 0.02 squared. And I get 3,393.0625 in my calculator. Now, no matter what that decimal is, I am going to round up to the nearest integer. In this case, I would normally just drop the decimals if I were rounding this to the nearest integer. But with sample sizes, I always need to round up. So I'm going to round up. Even though that decimal is only 0.625, I'm going to round up to 3,394 as my final answer. Because again, you always want to err on the side of having more people in your sample size. All right, and so then you're good to go.